Hey guys, so today we're looking at Ramble On by Led Zeppelin. I covered the first part pretty well in the first video, so make sure you reference that, but I wanted to go into a little bit more detail for you guys that might not be familiar with these chords. So what we're doing is we're playing in the key of A, which means most of the chords would be A and D and E, and we're actually throwing in an F sharp chord there, which is one of the minor chords in the key. We're going to start off with an E chord, which is in the 7th position here, so I'm going to bar the 7th fret over to this 5th string, and then I'm going to use my second finger, my ring finger here at the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th strings at the 9th fret, and that's going to be a basic E bar chord in this position, 7th position. I'm also going to make sure and include the open E note underneath it so I get a little bit of a bass sound going there. So we just hit that chord, and we're going to go back and forth. Look at your tab sheet here, back and forth 3 times on it after the initial strike. So it's... Then we shift to what's called a DA chord. All that means is I'm playing a D chord, but I'm letting the open A bass note ring underneath that D chord. And so it gives you a little bit different sound. The A note is in the regular D chord, but usually it's not the bass note. So that's why they call it DA, because it's in the bass in this case. So that's going to be 7 at the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th strings, open 5th string. Hit that, and then hit it again. And then drop your little finger on the 9th fret of the 3rd string, turning that chord into what's called an A6. Don't really need to know why it's called an A6. It's just an A6. It's got to do with writing the 6th note of the A key to it. And then dropping the ring finger down on the 9th fret of the 5th string. So that section sounds like. And then we're going to do just 2 mutes. That's what the X's are on the tab sheet. So we start off with the E, D, A, and F sharp minor, 7, and then going to the A down here at the 5th position, which is the 5th fret on the 2nd string, 6th fret on the 3rd string, and 7th fret on the 4th string. And we're going to hit that. And then 1, 2, 3 on the 4th strike there, we're hammering. The 7th fret down on the 3rd string, making it an A sus4, and then pull back off. So it's going to go. Then we just repeat the whole thing. Really key that you make sure those low open strings are ringing under the E and under the A or the D chord. You just want to hear those bass notes. If you miss those, it won't sound as full. All right, so to learn this one, make sure you set loop points and you do this in several steps. Very, very slow, and make sure you get those chords down cleanly. Also watch the video, watch him play it. It's awesome to watch Paige play this. I was blown away. Matter of fact, I'm covering this because I saw him play it in the video, and my first thought was, how is he covering all those parts on a single take? So really, really cool. Check it out. We're coming up with the next section right up. That's part 2. Awesome descending riff down the entire length of the neck, starting up here at the 11th fret all the way down to the open. It's really cool. You can learn this, but you have to break it down into small parts. Okay? So the first section, we're going to bend the 11th fret a half step and then return to pitch, and it's on the 3rd string. Then we're going to go 9 on the 3rd string, open 2nd string, and 9 on the 3rd string again. So this first riff is... You might want to just set a loop point here and just go over just that section a few times until you have it down. The next part is going to be going back and forth between the open 2nd string and the 9th fret on the 3rd string again. It's going to go. Ending with me hammering on the 11th fret of the 3rd string. So that was open on the 2nd string, 9 on the 3rd string. Do it again. Hammer your ring finger down for the 11 on the 3rd string. So those 2 parts together will be like this. One more time. One tip here, we're going back and forth, 3rd and 2nd string. You might hit the 1st string, you don't want it to ring. So on my right hand, my picking hand, I'm just touching the 1st string so it's quiet. So even if I would hit it with the pick, it's not going to make any sound. And that's just to keep the 1st string quiet. All right, so that's the first whole measure. You might want to stop here and get those 2 together, play them separately, then put them together. The third part of the riff, we're going to start going down the neck. We're going to play the open second string twice, and then we're going to do a pull off from the 7th fret to the 6th fret on the 3rd string. So it's, we'll just do that once, but we practice it over and over again. And then open second string twice again. This time 6/4 on the 3rd string, and then the open second string again. So that goes like this. All right, now I will tell you that once you've played the 7th fret to the 6th fret pull off, and you're going to play the open second string twice, you could actually play the open second string once and then play the 4th fret that you're holding of the 3rd string once. Because they're the same note, it'll give you a little bit different texture. It'd sound like that, like this. We'd go. So let's say that one more time. So we've got the open second string twice, 7th fret to 6th fret of the 3rd string, open second string twice again. Now we're going to do 6 to 4 pull off, and then we're going to play the open second string once and the 4th fret of the 3rd string. So let me try this one more time. Get a little difference there, the open and the 4. Really, really cool. So the very end of this, after we just played what we did there, we're going to come down here and do 2nd fret to 1st fret pull off on the 3rd string, and then 2 on the 4th string. So everything together. Really have to have the riff down, because then we play the whole riff a second time exactly the same way. So you have to do it twice in a row. Again, cut this up into small sections. Learn the small sections at a slow speed. Don't forget you can slow us down with our looper function there. Looper and slowdown features. So make sure you use the loop and the slowdown together. Bring this together, and then one piece at a time you build it up until you can play the whole part. All right, so again, slowly. Again. All right, third part coming up. Obviously, I changed the sound of the guitar for this part. The way that Page does this is he's using his Les Paul, and he's had the first section being played on the neck pickup, so he's got the switch up on the Les Paul, and the volume control on the neck pickup turned way down low, so it really cleans up his amplifier, so you've got a nice clean sound. And then he hits the switch down to the bridge pickup, which is, of course, full on with his Marshall, and there you go, you've got a really loud, distorted sound. Now, I'm using a PRS guitar today. Does not have the capability to do that because we just don't have enough controls on the guitar. So what I did is I changed the channel on my amp to a nice distorted sound. I also went to the bridge pickup. It's very distorted and sounds really good. So you could do this by using a foot switch on your amplifier, or if you're using a clean sound on your amp and you hit your distortion pedal on, then you've got your distorted sound. Or on your Les Paul, simply do what I mentioned earlier, just turn down the volume on the neck pickup way down to like maybe 2. You're up on the neck pickup, it's very clean. You drop down to full blast on your bridge pickup and you've got that distorted sound. That's how Page is doing it. And in the companion video, or the video from him, I should say, that's linked below, you can check that out and see him working that. He goes back and forth with that switch, and that's what he's doing. He's changing the sound of his guitar. All right, so what we're doing on this, we're starting back with the E chord that we started with on the first part, but now we're very distorted, and we're going to go between E and just a regular D, back D, and that's the same shape. I'm holding 7th fret over to the 5th string with my index finger, 9th fret on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th strings with my ring finger, and then you drop those 2 frets to the 5s and 7s to give you the D, and it gives you this. And the first time we play that, we just bang those chords and slide off of it. We don't do anything else. There's a rest there. And then we get into the sliding part. So just. Now this sliding section is on the middle 2 strings, and it's actually a descending thirds riff. And what that is, it's an interval of either major or minor thirds, partial chords actually here. We're just doing dyads, which are 2 notes, and we're just going to do these thirds descending. So we start off with 4 and 5 on the middle 2 strings, sliding to 6 and 7. Hit the 6 and 7 again, then again and slide back down to 4 and 5. Hit the 4 and 5, hit the 4 and 5 again, slide down to 2 and 4. And then hit the 2 and 4, and then on the 2 and 4, pull off the 4 to the open 2 to the 2 on the second and third, or the third and fourth strings. So slowly it's open E strings on 6th fret. So make sure you're looking at your tab sheet, and we're using our middle finger and ring finger to hold the 2 notes that are close together. In other words, 4 and 5 or 6 and 7. And when we're going to move down to where we're using the 2 and the 4, I will switch to my index finger and my ring finger. So make sure you really emphasize that downward slide. So the speed is also, after the first section, when I start playing that on the repeats, then I'm going to do some mutes. And you can use upstroke. So, it sounds really cool. You can see him doing it in the video as well. The way I'm getting that, I'm touching the guitar strings, but not pushing them down, and hit the middle strings there, not the top to the ring, but like that. So it's very fun to play, but you have to really be good with your hand to be able to go back and forth between I'm playing chords, I'm playing mutes, I'm playing chords again in a rhythmic fashion. So again, slow down this song when you're learning it, set those loop points, very small sections, and then put them together and build the whole thing. Do not just try to learn it from top to bottom. That would be very difficult, and I think you'll be frustrated with it. So try to do it slow. I hope you enjoyed this song as well as all the other songs we have here at Guitar Animal. Thanks for being members. Love to see you guys here every month. More good stuff coming. I'm Trent. I'll see you next time.